friends. Welcome to Fight Song Podcast. This is the first episode, and it features a hot matchup between Smash Mouth, Walkin on the Sun, and Sugar Ray Fly. If you want to weigh in on this, you can vote at fightsongpodcast.com, and that's also where we'll have other episodes once there are some. That's all for this intro. So this is Smash Mouth, Walkin on the Sun, Sugar Ray Fly. Both, I think these are both the same year.
Walkin on the Sun, 97. Yep.
So this is the feel-good matchup of 1997.
Released both in the summer, actually, within 1 month of each other.
The feel-good hits of the summer of 97. These could only be 90s songs. These could only be songs that happened before 9/11. You can't make songs like these after that. That's not an original thought, that people have fun talking about songs that are the most pre-9/11 songs. But I would put both of these up there as very pre-9/11 songs.
That means a lot. That tells you a lot because it really defined culture before 9/11. It was like, guys are just stoked. We're so stoked that we're just going to bleach our tips of our hair. And we're gonna wear wife beaters, and maybe not puka shell necklaces, but like
it's puka shell adjacent. If it's not straight puka shell,
it's like what are the metal balls like? Also the metal ball necklace, but also the metal ball chain wallet.
I always call the metal balls ska balls, but
ska balls.
I don't think it's really exclusive to that. But it's a real stoked time.
Yeah,
And with these two, like the most diluted rap influence there could be, because they're both kind of like talk singy, and that kind of just came from like a happening 90s rap scene. I feel like.
Yeah, it was like being urban, but it was before you could be like a white kid and be in. To rap, but I think rapping because your parents might not really feel that
they wouldn't be feeling it. But I think Smash Mouth dude I think he had a record deal before that was rap-ish. I have to look this up. I might be
I believe it.
But he had a thing going on before Smash Mouth that then became maybe defunct, but then.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
what
it was
is
even
his
on
name anyway? Do we even know what the guy's name is?
Do you know anyone else's name?
Oh, it's Guy Fieri. That's his name.
That was his first band before he got
the album Welcome to Flavortown, I think, was their
that's the
ill-fated it got shelved before it ever came out, I think, right?
And then he went straight into just being fat.
Yeah.
Not before he got the food show.
How about this for a sort of diluted hip hop influence? The name of the record is Fush You Meng.
And do you know what that's from? Because this is where
probably every bro kegger party from my high school.
Fellow Smash Mouth fans are scoffing at you right now for not knowing that it's something that Al Pacino's character utters in Scarface while high, I think on mushrooms or
cocaine,
hallucinogens of some kind.
Oh, okay.
But he utters that phrase or that mumbling, and I think it gets taken from there. So we're all laughing at you right now.
The Scarface influence, also a diluted kind of
the most diluted
influence.
Rap influences, because no one ever saw the end of that movie that was just like, yeah, I want to be a gangster like that. I'm going to wear that t-shirt. I'm going to prophesize my own demise.
I'm going to have that poster in my bedroom when I'm in high school.
It doesn't end well.
No.
Do you know, jumping to Sugar Ray real quick, because we're going to go hard on the Smash Mouth once I fight you on the validity of the first record. Do you know anyone else's? I don't know anyone else's name. I don't know anyone's name in Smash Mouth, but I don't know anyone else in Sugar Ray other than
Mark McGrath. No, I don't know anyone else's name in that band, and I'm not sorry about that either.
I feel like they get, so they're both in pre-9/11 music genre, but then they also, I think maybe, I know the Smash Mouth guy's name is Steve actually, but specifically Sugar Ray is also in a genre where you only know one guy of the band, like Maroon 5 and Matchbox 20. Sugar Ray is in that genre where you only know that dude and no other dudes. They're the most anonymous people in the world. But what did we say? These two are both the feel-good hits of 97?
Yeah.
We had both, when we texted about this episode, we had both remembered that Sugar Ray had like a pre-pop phase where they were like,
yeah, like thrash punk. Kinda.
Yeah, like a little bit of hard rock, but kind of like kind of a mess. I haven't listened to is it Lemonade and Brownies was the record?
Laminated Brownies?
Lemonade and Brownies?
Oh,
Brownies and Lemonade? I don't know. I think that was right.
Almost as
like
unappetizing as Laminated Brownies.
Laminated Brownies had like just a really like fucked up guitar sound. It was like chorusy, but also like a direct-ish sound. And
yeah,
the vocals were distorted and it was like very pseudo hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that crosses over into feel good hit of the summer with the Supercat as hype man.
Is that who the hype man was? Is that the guy that was like,
yep, that's him. The whole like last minute, it might have just been because I was listening to the album cut, but I don't remember if the radio cut had this in, but the whole last minute is just like nonsense. And there's just like no substance to it whatsoever. It was just like to keep the good times rolling from the first 2.5 minutes. And Walking on the Sun's got like a hot advantage in this particular aspect of the songs because there's like purposeful music pretty much throughout. And Fly is just like the most hollow, unnecessary jaunt through fun times.
Okay, no. See, this is where you're wrong because Fly is actually about some like real shit. It's like about mortality. It's like talking about like death. I don't know if I can recite the exact words and tell you the exact message that's happening, but there's like a deep like existential kind of purpose behind the words in that song.
It's so deep that he doesn't even know how long he's loved her. Where he says, "Who knows how long I've loved you? You do, bro. You know how long you've loved her."
But he's saying like love transcends time, and the length of how long I've loved this person goes beyond just, our lifetime. It's probably he probably loved this person before, maybe in another life. He doesn't know. This is the mystery and the the dark just fucking just comedy that is existence.
It's like the commentary on the human condition, punctuated by a chorus that is "I just want to fly," and then in the most like stadium anthem elementary school way, almost like near row, row, row your boat levels. The coherence of those lyrics, I think, rival any band's nonsense lyrics. Pick a thought, maybe run with that thread. Instead of like getting your notes together the second before this needs to be recorded and just picking lines out of your journal.
Bro, this is before planes had flown into the World Trade Center. It's not, you didn't have to like just always be talking about some real shit. Like you could just throw words out there. Look at Smash Mouth. I mean, what are they even talking about?
They're talking about taking a walk with your feet on the sun.
Is that literally what they're talking about?
No, that's more like that song actually has super hateable lyrics. As much as I can actually defend some of the songs on that record as like fun, good pseudo pop punk rock songs, that song has really insufferable lyrics now I think that they're kind of insightful, which I'm sure as you think about them now, you're like, I don't know any of the lyrics.
Right.
I feel like we should play it, and then maybe if we talk enough over this, we won't get sued for using it.
Already hate it.
Toke was early there, so that I think really got the kids going. You're just reading them outright.
Are they talking about weed? Like, what are they talking about?
I think it's kind of like the underbelly of like the white picket fence.
Dude, this is about like hood shit. They're talking about
Almost
cultural
like-
shifts. Just, you know, people rebelling against their hippie parents.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it.
Because there was no actual meaning behind any of the hippie movement. It's all fashion. I don't understand what might as well be walking on the sun. I don't know. I hate this, though. This is terrible.
This is
Maybe it's also just a sort of existential commentary in that nothing means anything, and
but
anything
I feel
you
like
think you're about that you think is cool is actual just bullshit.
when they just seeing this guy and imagining his figure, I just feel like he really thinks this is like a super clever, self-important thing.
Maybe that's why I can't take this seriously. Maybe if Sugar Ray wrote this, then I would like take it a little more seriously.
Because you know that Mark McGrath is not trying to get.
If Amy
too
Winehouse
self-righteous.
sang this song, everybody would think it was like super tight. But instead, you got Guy Fieri wearing a fucking bowling shirt and a fucking ska ball chain wallet
Ska ball, chain wallet.
with his
that's right.
little soul patch and his black fly sunglasses.
I've had mostly enough of you making fun of Steve, whose last name I don't know.
Steve Mouth.
When I liked that first record enough, and actually my younger brother liked it a little bit more, that when they came to Columbus, we went to go see them. It might have not been on this tour, but I don't think All Star had come out yet. So it was like...
No, All Star was like the next record.
Yeah. Actually, it might have, because I think that was maybe the closer, but we were playing in this, was kind of like our second band, and we bailed on band practice to go to Smash Mouth, and it ended the band. It ended the band.
You did not deserve to be in that band.
Rightfully so. He was like, "You're going to Smash Mouth?" Then like, what even is this? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, we just want to go. Like, I don't know. We're just going to go. And it was a terrible time because that kind of like young professionals crowd was all over it. And we were like little punk kids. I was probably like, I don't know, I might have been 16 or 17. Just like really out of place in this, because that would be a show you would like take a date to, or like,
right?
It just was that kind of band, and I wanted them to play like the fast songs off that first record, and they were just they played like some covers and like a bunch of like mid-tempo jams, and it just sucked super hard. But I'll stand by Beer Goggles and Flow on that record that are just like decent songs that have some merit in.
All right.
I guess.
All right.
They made a few mixtapes. That's how much I thought they were okay. I would like put one of those songs on like a pop punk mixtape as like here's a Smash Mouth song that you may not have heard. I'm informing your musical encyclopedia.
You know, you weren't an adult yet. Our country was really not an adult yet because 9/11 hadn't happened.
I and our country had our innocence.
So, you know, you can't really be held accountable for bad taste in music at that point. The economy was like just too good, and everybody was like, whatever, man, whatever makes you feel good.
You can have two really pretty upbeat songs that just kind of like ride themselves out in the same summer.
You can have the band equivalent of a Tommy Bahama fucking shirt store, and it's cool. You can go to that.
When I was first getting into music, and a friend of mine really loved that first Sugar Ray record that was like, had some more rock to it. I had that record, but then not Floored, the one that Fly is on.
Right.
And then in their good humor fashion, that follow-up record that was called 1459, that self-awareness that Sugar Ray had, that like their time was limited.
Right.
Was that self-defeating, being that Smash Mouth went on to like do a few more mega hits? like All Star and Can't Get Enough of You. And
Well, Sugar Ray had some more hits, didn't they?
I don't know anything after Fly. If they had a follow-up hit,
No, they had
I
more that
wasn't on
sounded
board.
just like Fly.
As far as I knew, he went directly from the set of the Fly video into hosting television.
No, see, 1459 had Every Morning and Someday.
Man, I'm going to edit out how wrong I was about that. I think I just attributed those to Floored and didn't know they were 1459. So those were
Because I think
both
Floored
pretty
still had
mega
some
hits.
rocks. I think it still had some like like the pop punk. I'm trying to. I was just trying to remember what movie they were also featured in that year, and I guess it was called Father's Day, starring Billy Crystal and Robin Williams. But I remember, I don't remember the exact premise for the movie, but I feel like it was like some kid like ran away from home to follow Sugar Ray on tour, which is something that never happened in real life. Which is another thing you could do in movies pre 9/11 is just like make shit up, like my rebellious kids going and following Sugar Ray on tour.
The Smash Mouth, and I only know this from boning up on the Wikipedia page, I've seen the movie Rat Race, but I don't remember them being in it. But they were also in a movie at that time. They were they're performing, I think, in Rat Race at some part of that.
It's amazing how these two careers just parallel each other. So
it's really a pretty good matchup of like
bands that got lucky with a single on their record in '97 and then made 11 more songs
wrote
just like that.
out. Another one of the things from the Wikipedia that I didn't know was that egg eating contest that I mentioned, where I think someone offered him $20 to eat 24 eggs, and then like a bunch of other places got in on it and were like started throwing money in, and they raised like 15 grand for like a charity for Smash Mouth Guy Fieri to. I'm not sure. Oh no, because he brought his friend, which is why it was funny that you mentioned Guy Fieri, because that they're like friends. So he calls him up and has him make the eggs for him that he then ate, which seems it needs to be raw or like boiled eggs. I don't know.
Because I'll eat 24 eggs for 50 grand or whatever it is.
Yeah, $15,000. It doesn't seem impossible.
I've eaten
Very possible.
a quarter of that.
Yeah,
with no problem.
8 to 10 when I was eating eggs. That was very possible. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
If you scrambled eggs with cheese, 15 seems like just like maybe an overzealous brunch. It wasn't even that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem like anything that would kill you.
Well, he didn't turn it away. That's what I got out of this.
He's also 5 million pounds.
He had his buddy come in, cook him up right.
Guy Fieri.
His buddy Guy Fieri. They ate them face to face like a fighting mirror. There's probably other songs of that era. It is like amazing, and we have some other matchups, but like how like maybe at Whimsical did Fighting Mirror get you? Hold for Fighting Mirror. Like whimsical might not be the right word, but it was like that feel good late 90s pop hit was so attainable, it seemed. Like a little bit of guitar, a little bit of like electronic drums, but like still some acoustic elements. It was really a time when like beats weren't real heavy. You could keep it light. And,
these songs might have informed a lot of hits to come, actually, now that you know.
Yeah, like the influence of these seems really, really trite, but it was at a time where like digital music production was like kind of becoming more common. I don't think either of those actually were. I think both of those were analog recordings, and it's kind of fun to listen to on like what could be a pop hit at that time, because like the vocals are like super loose and Mark McGrath can barely sing. And
okay, first of all, Fly has some great harmonies in the chorus, which is a lot more than you can say for fucking Fat Mouth.
Surely Fat Mouth has been said out there, but that's the first time
you couldn't
I've
recreate
heard it.
Sugar Ray Fly without two great singers.
But you could easily
you could eat your way through fucking eggs.
You could rap through your soul patch and get to the
with
other
a
side
mouthful of 24 scrambled fucking eggs.
a song for Shrek and a strong song for Shrek.
Isn't there
too,
something on Twitter where it's like him getting mad at people for like people come up and be like, "Oh, you guys sing that song from Shrek," and he's just like gets all mad like it was a hit song like 10 years before Shrek.
No, that was on Astro Lounge, which is the record after. That's not a hit from Astro Lounge. It's not from Shrek. That is how I will always, I think of his chin strap in the vid. That was the kind of it. I've been saying soul patch, but I mean chin strap.
Well, he had both chin strap and soul patch.
Man, he's killing me here. That guy. True to, I think, what the Wikipedia was saying, maybe not about Sugar Ray, but about Smash Mouth, is that it got us to nu metal, because it was like dudes that kind of liked to talk rap and like a little bit of guitar and nu metal fashion light.
Right. It was like if you didn't hate your dad enough to like Korn.
Yeah. Right in that era.
With Slipknot, with
with Smash Not.
Snatch Mouth. What? Smash Mouth?
But those two genres kind of like overlapped terrible facial hairs and hairs of like good time band that like made allusions to weed and what became nu metal bands. There's like a kinship there of like horrifying. Like
it was just the only difference was the drugs that they were into. I think these guys were into like, doing keg stands and like doing bong loads.
Yeah.
And fucking nu metal bands were into doing meth.
Those guys went to college and did those things, and then,
or maybe they didn't quite go to college. Maybe they went to like city college.
They went to like a school beyond high school. Yeah, and had like a time bonging beers, and then made friends that they had a band with.
Yeah,
it doesn't help my argument. I would say
it does not help any argument because this is all bad. Here's an interesting fact. Their 1999 album, we're talking about Sugar Ray here. Their 1999 album, 1459, implied that their 15 minutes of fame was not quite up.
Oh, I took that as...
It was 1 second away from being up.
I took that as when that came out as like, we know that Fly was just like a fluke thing that happened to a bunch of dum-dums. Right. And we're going to put out this next record, and if it eats shit, we kind of covered that base because our time is up.
Which actually tells you a lot about their intelligence level. I mean, they're smart enough to know their place, but also kind of defying and sort of jinxing their ultimate demise for just, for one more second and allowing them to come out with 2 more songs.
It was kind of like hedging their bets, but then they won with 2 more singles that were pretty popular. I don't know if that record outsold the other one, but
it must
Smash Mouth's follow-up with All Star on it like outsold the other by quite a bit.
Yeah.
And those both were like, for both of those bands to right up until 9/11 have the pop success that they had.
Good for them. You can't actually, you know what? You can hate on that because Smash Mouth is terrible.
It's pretty bad, except for those 2 songs, which I'm probably gonna post links to.
All Star.
All Star
is one of the bad ones or not bad ones?
No, these 2 singles off of, or not 2 non-singles off of the first record. All Star. I hate whistling, and it has whistling within the song, which isn't even like the worst part of it. But that, unless you're like a really great, like old-timey whistler, whistling is like the worst sound to me.
But you know what? It was a successful hook for the song. It's memorable.
It sounds like a McDonald's commercial. That's
exactly
that bridge and that.
Pre 9/11, people were down with McDonald's, man.
And then 9/11 happened, and the second Bush term happened, and you had to like wake up, man. You had to like sort out who was
right. That's when
control.
Isn't that when like Rage Against the Machine like had their like big 3rd record or whatever?
That was
totally
into
off?
No, that was I think into the. It wasn't much later if it was in the 2000s, but
Yeah.
The enigma of that band is that very little was going. These good time jams were going on when Rage Against the Machine was at its peak, and like in retrospect, nearly nothing was wrong.
Wait, so what's post 9/11 rock then?
Post 9/11 rock.
Yeah, what was like big? Wait, for hard rock, who was even like? What was happening? It was still new metal, right? Because when did
It was a lot of new metal.
when did like metalcore come? That wasn't until like mid 2000s, right?
What would metalcore be?
Like Kill Switch Engage or when all those bands started being on like Ozfest.
Oh yeah, that would have been like mid 2000s.
So it was still just new metal, huh?
Yeah, it was tons. I mean, that was like big. I think Nookie was 99, but like Limp Bizkit was still making records. Kid Rock was big. Korn was still making some records.
Who was on
Incubus? Incubus is kind of pre and post.
Yeah, mostly pre though, right?
Mostly pre. Pardon Me was pre.
I'm gonna look at the Ozfest lineups and just see what this post 9/11 music is all about.
Post 9/11 was kind of Warped Tour-y. I feel like between Warped Tour metal.
Oh,
I think we're missing that.
Okay, can I just show you? Can I just tell you this? Ozfest 2001. This is, I don't know what, 1 month, 2 months before 9/11 happened. Let me just tell you what Ozfest was. Okay.
Tell me
you had Black Sabbath.
Tell me why they
headlining.
hate us.
Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, Disturbed, Crazy Town, Black Label Society. Second stage, this is even more, God, this is terrible. Mudvayne, The Union Underground, I don't know what that is.
No.
Taproot, Non-Point, Drowning Pool,
This is
Spine Shank, Hatebreed. How did that fucking happen? American Head Charge 5.0. I've never. Oh, and OTEP, Beautiful Creatures, and some other shit that I've never even heard. This is crazy.
Those were all on my radar. Not that I was listening to all of them, but the venue that I worked in, the venue Dimebag was shot in Columbus, I did monitors for briefly in 2002, and all of that shit, all of the Ozfest runoff would come through the Alrosa Villa in Columbus.
Right.
And like, I think I did the Non-Point show, and Mudvayne sold out there, but they did it anyway, and it was like just a mess. It was actually like a really fun show to work because I was pretty young, and it was like a big show. But when like a band hits, but they've already booked the tour, and now all the venues are sold out and insane. Saw Slipknot in their parking lot because they had also blown up at that time. Yeah, post 9/11 is, I would.
Okay, well, let's look at post 9/11, the very next year, Ozfest, okay? I'm not saying it's all good. Ozzy Osbourne, System of a Down, Rob Zombie, POD, Edema, Black Label Society, Tommy Lee. This is terrible. Drowning Pool. Second stage, though, Down, Hatebreed, Meshuggah, a bunch of bullshit.
I saw Motorhead on a second stage at Ozfest one year.
Yeah, it wasn't the Lost Prophets. Wasn't that the band where the...
Lost Prophets is a great example of post 9/11 rock, and yes, that was the dude that had all the like child and animal porn.
Yeah, it's terrible. Andrew WK, Glassjaw, The Used. I mean,
this is 1 year after 9/11. This is 2002.
We're getting in.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, there's also Soil. There's also OTEP. There was also Mushroom Head. So, anyway, so that kind of breaks it down for you.
This is a tough time.
I don't really know what that means.
I mean,
it just got a little heavier.
You asked though, yeah, what is post 9/11 rock? And
the good times were over. It was time for Hatebreed and Meshuggah.
It was, and I think on the greater radio scheme of things, it was totally like Linkin Park, Drowning Pool, and System of a Down, who seemed to get like some. I mean, I like some of their songs. I never had any of the records, but they seem to get a lot of pass for being like a good band.
Yeah, I never really understood that either. Even though I did, I agree. I kind of like some of their songs.
Yeah, I'm fine with a couple songs. Yeah, but a good band is maybe a stretch.
It's definitely a stretch.
As someone who really liked Korn at one point, and who also have plenty of new metal apologist stories, Linkin Park was always awful to me. But if I were in high school and Linkin Park came out, I would have loved them, which is like a frustrating realization that like the timing of such would have made me like their biggest fan. Instead, for a Smash Mouth record, and I want to play before we're out. I'm going to play the 2 Smash Mouth songs that I'm romanticizing in my mind are worth their while.
If one is All-Star, I'm really going to be upset.
It's just the 2 on this record. Opens the record. These are going to be such garbage. It's going to make me look very foolish. Maybe not. Yes.
This is Smash Mouth?
See? But
see, I didn't realize they had this ska thing.
yeah, it's just kind of like
This doesn't sound
pop, punk rock.
Yeah, this
in
sounds
a
like
way.
it could have been on like, Fat Records or some I don't know, one of those.
This is like some kind of like Hopeless Records derivative band.
Yeah.
Or like Warped Tour before it was.
Right. I mean, this is terrible, but it's a little...
It's more understandable,
it makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
That's Walking in the Sun was just kind of like the novelty hit, but then I think they kind of ran with that, like,
right.
Let's be a band with that vibe, and I'm gonna write like sing along songs like All Star, rather than just kind of straight rock songs, which I guess maybe to their credit.
What's the other song?
All right, you pretty much heard all this song has to offer. And this song is
I've
about
heard enough.
This song is about this other girl stealing his girlfriend. So
that's such a like 1997 ska punk thing to sing about.
A premise that
like, oh, fucking like lesbians, man. I know about what a lesbian is. Isn't this shocking?
All right, this is called Beer Goggles, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Which isn't actually even the song I was thinking of. There might be 3 worth it songs on here. There's even more. I forgot about the Fonz. God, this is sick. So there's this one that's just like another pop rock song.
I'm praying
Walking
for
on the Sun is the third
right
song.
Now. Do you think on 9/11 they just saw something huge and fat and thought that it was the singer of Smash Mouth, but they accidentally hit those buildings instead?
They were seeking to end this reign of...
Because if so, it all makes sense.
Meaningless pop hits.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Since that was a brief rundown, I don't know anything else on that Sugar Ray record.
Okay, well,
I just want to play Fly for a second, and then this could be it. This could be what sways me into just conceding that maybe Sugar Ray is a little more worth it. Does start with goddamn, so
those are bad words.
Yeah, that would have made me have to hide it from my parents.
Wow, this is like super new metal. I can't decide which is worse, ska punk or new metal.
Walking on the Sun seems closer to the actual sound of that band. Because are you ready for this? So
yeah.
We're 2 songs in.
Wow, that's really bad.
Sorry, I thought it was the next one. It's a little farther. So there's 3 songs. Let's just assume the song also sucks. So they start off with 2 quote-unquote heavy songs. This little ditty. The general public was probably super disappointed with buying this record after hearing this single.
And then they put the other one at the end of the record?
That's great. Just the regular one. We'll play that one first. We'll see how necessary Supercat is to the success of this single. Oh, I've heard this version too, where it just busts right in.
Yeah. This is the one. This is the radio one, I think. Do you think they get pissed that they have to like split their royalties with Supercat or whatever?
Supercat may have never done a thing again, and
he's like a millionaire. Either that, or they paid him like $150 to come in. And they made him sign some paper.
They paid him
and he
like
saw nothing.
Studio musician rate.
Yeah.
Given the rundown that we just did of mostly terrible music, that's going to keep me on Smash Mouth's side. And I think it won you over a little bit. I think you softened a bit because it's not as bad as that song on its own.
I wanted nothing to do with Smash Mouth before this, and now I want less than nothing to do with them, if that's possible.
I'm going to probably send you that an unopened copy of that record for a holiday or your birthday. This is a split, an even split.
All right.